of pathophysiological processes that impact multiple organ systems. Lifestyle modifications and pharmaceuticals are the first-line treatments for diabetes. However, patients seeking alternatives to these interventions are for those who need additional support. Phytotherapies and specific nutrients are available and are safe and effective for diabetes. Welcome to True Health Tuesday. I'm Dr. Reynolds, a licensed naturopathic functional medicine physician, former CSI forensic scientist, and molecular biologist. Today on True Health, I am going to share with you my top recommendations for type 2 diabetes supplementation. Number 1, Berberine. Berberine is an isoquinoline alkaloid found in the roots and stem bark of various plant species. Berberine in numerous trials have demonstrated that it has antioxidative and anti-proliferative and anti-inflammatory effects. But berberine also have effects on glucose and lipid metabolism. Berberine activates adenosine monophosphate. Adenosine monophosphate activated kinase. Berberine activates adenosine monophosphate activated protein kinase, an enzyme that stimulates glucose uptake and lipid oxidation to produce energy, and also modulates. Biochemical studies have shown that berberine improve insulin sensitivity and insulin secretion. I've used berberine in practice with multiple patients with great success in combination with lifestyle interventions such as physical activity and targeted diet programs. It's also helped me wean many of my patients off medications. Number 2 supplement recommendation is Pendulum. Pendulum glucose control is the first multi-strain medical probiotic used to manage type 2 diabetes. This probiotic contains strains of bacteria that can influence glucose metabolism. It's a great adjunct to your existing protocol and lifestyle interventions that you're using to improve your glucose. My number 3 top recommendation is Gymnema. 400 milligrams twice daily for 90 days was shown in one study to decrease postprandial glucose and hemoglobin A1C. Gymnema decreases uptake of glucose in the intestine, improves glycogen synthesis, gluconeogenesis, and glycolysis, and most importantly, increases glucose uptake to our muscles, all of which is very important for glucose management. My number 4 recommendation is bitter melon. Bitter melon has widespread use around the world in various cultures. Bitter melon has anti-glycemic effects, enhancing beta cell production, and increase in glucose uptake to our cells. Patients with type 2 diabetes receiving 2,000 milligrams per day saw improvements in blood sugar control over 4 weeks. My fifth supplement recommendation is cinnamon. We've all heard of cinnamon. Cinnamon is also one of those powerful spices that has been used in various cuisines across the entire world. There's considerable research on the evidence around its anti-glycemic effects. Cinnamon contains many plant constituents. Cinnamaldehyde and cinnamic acid are two constituents of cinnamon that are responsible for balancing blood sugar. In vitro and in vivo studies have shown that cinnamon enhances glucose uptake by activating insulin receptor kinase activity. And if you're wondering what type of cinnamon to consider, there are 4 major commercial types of cinnamon. But the anti-glycemic effect of cinnamon is species specific. The type of cinnamon that has shown the best results in balancing blood sugar is Ceylon cinnamon that's sourced from Sri Lanka. 1 gram of cinnamon for 12 weeks was shown to reduce fasting blood glucose and hemoglobin A1C amongst patients with uncontrolled type 2 diabetes. And my number 6 top recommendation is not an herb. It's actually a vitamin or hormone, vitamin D. And I talked about vitamin D on my previous video. Vitamin D is very important, not only for our immune system, but for our endocrine system. Vitamin D deficiency, or we're talking vitamin D levels less than 20 nanograms per milliliter, can contribute to insulin resistance. Vitamin D stimulates pancreatic beta cells to secrete insulin and improve insulin sensitivity. Lower levels of vitamin D is associated with inflammation, and inflammation can drive insulin resistance. In functional medicine, we like to aim for an optimal vitamin D level between 60 nanograms per milliliter to 80. So next time you see your endocrinologist, request that they run your vitamin D levels. And my number 7 top recommendation for blood sugar control is a mineral, chromium. And chromium is an essential mineral beneficial in regulation of insulin activity, in regulating insulin activity and carbohydrate and lipid metabolism. People with type 2 diabetes have lower levels of chromium compared to those without diabetes. Chromium levels do decrease with age. Supplements containing between 200 micrograms to 1,000 micrograms of chromium have been found to improve glucose levels. Now, there are various forms of chromium, but there is one form of chromium that's more bioavailable and efficacious for blood sugar balance, and that's Chromium Picolinate. So if you're wondering what form of chromium to take, it would be the Chromium Picolinate. Now, those are my top recommendations for supplementation for blood sugar balance. However, there's so many more to consider, and this is when you have to work with a practitioner to individualize your supplement protocol. Remember, dietary supplements are just supplements. They're never a replacement for healthy nutrition or lifestyle. But when combined with healthy lifestyle, supplements can be incredibly useful and powerful interventions for restoring physiological function at a cellular level. Lastly, always speak to a healthcare provider before starting any dietary supplement to ensure that the supplement and the dosage are appropriate for your needs. Thank you so much for tuning in.